Hollanders, better known as Coach Ace.
And we are known as Ace and Rich. And thank you guys for stopping by the Super Affiliate Network Freedom Call today. And today, I love talking about mindset like a lot, right? Because I feel that that's the key to everybody's success. Everybody should really be thinking about mindset like all the time. I mean, every day there's not a day that goes by I don't think about mindset and the importance of actually focusing on the reality of what your mind can control and what your mind could achieve and all those different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So today's title is going to be about, your words become your reality, okay? And the reason why that's so important is because if I could think back the way that I used to think, I used to complain about like everything.
Oh,
you know what I
me
mean?
too.
I used to complain like, I can't generate a lead, or even before I started, an online business, I was thinking like, how can I learn to play this guitar? You know what I mean? And
I used to say, what's wrong with me? What the heck do these people got that I don't have? I mean, I breathe the same air like them. Why is I'm not getting any sales? And why am I not getting one of those big ass checks that I see everybody walking across the stage for? I want one of those.
Yeah, I want that, But you realize that, we learn about ourselves over time. We learn about, who we become over time.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we don't like what we see. We really don't. And the hardest part is to really face it and realize that I don't like what I see and I need to change it. Okay. And, for me, I could tell you that I needed to hire someone to help me with my mindset. So I hired a personal coach.
Yeah. You invested thousands to that person to help you.
I flew out to California. I spent 3 days with him,
yeah.
Learn about, Breakthrough Success program. And I had one-on-one time with him, also on the phone. And I was broken. He literally broke me because sometimes the things that are right in front of us that we don't want to see is the kind of things that we want to ignore, right? So for me, I wanted to ignore the truth about like what I wanted for my life for real. Like for me, I wanted to have success. I've always wanted to have success, but in reality, I wasn't responsible at the time. So how could I have success if I'm not responsible? And he really laid it on me about that, and trust me, a lot more detail than what I'm sharing right now.
Yeah.
He's really good at what he does, and once he broke me, I saw the big picture, and I saw the reality, and I thought like, I need to go back to work. I need to get back to a job. I need to
swallow your pride,
swallow my pride, and I need to
show face,
create a new reality in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went back to work for the same place that I had success prior to, hiring a coach and losing it all, I went back with a whole different mindset. So I wanted to create new words and create a whole new reality around me. And when I said to myself, okay, I'm going to go back to work this time, but I'm going to look at things completely different. Okay. I'm a business owner. I'm going to walk into this job and I'm going to look at this as an actual structure of a business and realize that it is a business and treat this job more importantly than I've ever done before. And look at it from a different angle that most people don't even look at it that way, right? When they go to work, they just look at it as a job. But for me, I looked at it as a building, an entity, people, telling people what to do, because that structure has to be created in order for the top to make sure that they're creating revenue. So I'm seeing things in a whole different way this time around after I've been coached. So I went back to work thinking, you know what, I'm going to use this job to fund my dreams. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm never going to lose sight of what I really want to create, which is my new reality. And my new reality, when I was working, I was thinking, I want to be in an island. I want to be sipping some pina coladas. And I just want to sit there and I just want to feel the breeze from the ocean and experience that, because that's what I experienced before when I had the success prior and I lost it all. So I want to get back to that point. So when I went to work, I had to always have that in my mind. So everything that I spoke, everything that I saw, everything that I wanted to attract, right? I was always talking about it to the coworkers. Like, you see, guys, I'm going to be on an island, okay? I'm going to be hanging out on an island soon, right? It's like, oh, Rich, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's like, you're a Geek Squad, man. Just it's not going to happen, all this stuff. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm working behind the scenes and I'm making things happen. And guys, this took like 3 or 4 years, okay? So, and I kept like literally, just seeing the vision and speaking it, and all those words just always kept coming out. So I was like forming this whole new reality around what I was doing, even though I was at work, and people thought I was nuts. and until Super Affiliate Network. And then, you know, I started sharing, like, you see this, guys, these are sales coming in, right? Nothing too, you know, drastic yet, but I guarantee you they're going to start growing. And they were like, interesting, you know? And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to be going on a trip soon. I have this feeling I'm going to be going on a trip soon. And I don't know where, but it's going to be somewhere. And then when we went pro and things were just building really fast, we saw that Maui came up, right? And that was the opportunity to go to Maui and to learn and to, you know, get educated with Misha one-on-one. And that was like the big picture, right? Because that really just took things to a whole new level. So when I told my my boss, I'm like, listen, I need some time off, and you know, I'll need like 2 weeks, because I never took any vacation time. I always was working. So I saved up all that time, and I had so much time. So I had like extra days when I got back from the trips to wind down from the jet lag. So I literally said, guys, I'm going to be going to Hawaii. And they all looked at me like, how did you know that you were going to go on to an island? And now you're telling me you're really actually going. Are you really going? I'm like, yeah, man, I told you I was going to go. It's just only a matter of time. And I told you from the beginning, you just didn't believe me, you know? And I'm like, listen, man, don't you know that you have the opportunity? I don't even care if it's doing what I'm doing, but let's say, you know, you're going to college or you're going to school, or you want to learn more about advanced technology and networking and stuff like that with these Geek Squad dudes that I'm talking to. I'm like, you can make anything happen. You just have to really believe in what you want to create in your life. That's just the bottom line, you know? And they're like, oh yeah, the hokey pokey talk and stuff. And I'm like, hokey pokey talk, that's why I'm going to an island and you guys are still sitting here, okay? So, and don't get me wrong, I worked hard at it to get to this point, but I never stopped believing, and I never stopped speaking those words. As much as you know, you got sick and tired of me talking about it, because they did, you know what I mean? Now they have, like, when I went back to work after that trip, everybody looked at me differently. They were like, man, we have so much respect for you now. Like, you know, like I said, first of all, guys, you don't understand, like, I've done this before, and I learned valuable lessons from, you know, from failures, right? This is all about success. And some people were paying attention, and then some people just, you know, really didn't really care, you know? So I just kept speaking into existence what I wanted. And then the other new thing came up. I'm like, okay, guys, here's a new thing. I just got back, learned a lot. Eventually I won't be here. Okay. I don't know when it'll happen. Okay. But I won't be here. And I'll probably give it like another year or so. I'm not going to be here. And they're like, they didn't even believe me, even though I, you know, they saw what I did, right? Yeah. They didn't believe me. And then I was like, then I walk in, I'm like, okay, guys, give my 2 weeks. And they're like, oh shit, man, you're like really leaving? I'm like, yeah, I told you I was, you know? And I stayed in the job really, really long. So, but everything that I do besides the vision, I always speak in what I believe all the time. I always speak in what I believe, even when nothing is there. You know what I mean? Even when nothing exists, even when, like, you're trying to generate leads and you can't generate leads, and you're like, you know, you still gotta, like, speak it, see it, visualize it, you know what I mean, and make it happen. And that's why I truly believe that your words become your reality. I totally believe that, because for me, even when I was struggling, I was fortunate enough to have everybody here seen the movie The Secret? Yeah?
Amber,
you've never seen that? Oh, okay, that's
whoa. Okay,
you gotta like see that like yesterday. Okay, that's a,
all right. Y'all need to go on Netflix and download.
Yeah,
download it.
If it's on Netflix, I don't know.
It's on Netflix.
There were 2 copies that came out. There was one without Abraham-Hicks, and there was one with Abraham.
Yeah.
Try to get the one with Abraham-Hicks, because she's amazing.
Yeah.
So what I did was, there was an event going on in Stamford, Connecticut, which is about a couple hours south, right over here from Massachusetts. And I got some tickets, and we went to see Abraham-Hicks, and she was in the movie The Secret. So you know how she has this thing called the hot seat, where you get called up and you gotta like be right there in front of everybody and you speak and stuff. So when we were there, we I don't know, you have to raise your hand and stuff like that, but it was funny because she said, you'll know if you're gonna get called up. You'll feel it, you'll know it. And I'm like, okay. So I had the person I was with putting my arm up like all the time. I'm like, come on, get up there, and you know, just raise your hand. And I'm like, no, I don't want to raise my hand. because it's like, I want to have if I do it, I want to have that intention. I don't want nobody to make that intention for me.
Right.
So when I felt it, I said, okay, now I'm ready to do it, right? Now I'm ready to do it because I want to do it. And my intention was so strong that immediately before that arm went up, I'm like, oh boy, here it goes. I know I'm going to get picked. I know it. Like, I knew it. I freaking knew it, man. It was crazy. So I got called up right in front of Abraham-Hicks and started talking because I was in the middle of a crossroads at that time. And I asked myself, you know, I'm in a band, I'm in a studio, I'm not having, you know, success with it, and I feel like I'm torn between two worlds. I want to do online marketing, but I love music at the same time. But I'm finding that I'm really loving, you know, online marketing more now, or at the same as music, because music is my passion. So now this is my passion. And she told me a whole bunch of things and really woke me up and everything. And after that, I saw the world like really differently, and I never looked at it the same way ever again.
Yeah, your awareness was definitely,
my awareness expanded
with a whole nother level of enlightenment.
With a whole enlightenment was definitely the right word. And I left that day and I looked at the world, and the world looks totally different. I would look at a piece of steel or the road, cement, and it just looked different. Everything just looked different to me. Like, oh my God, like there's something more than just, you know, just what we are. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So when you speak something and you are really, like, you really believe it, like your whole being, like from like your soul to your physical to your skin to your everything, like you start to see some things take shape that is really, really strange.
Things start happening.
Okay.
Really weird.
And if you pay attention to those things, even the smallest things, you start to be like, wow, there's more to life than meets the eye here. You know what I mean? That's why I love The Science of Getting Rich, because it talks about the power of the mind, what the mind can achieve. You know, what's the saying goes? I forgot.
Whatever the mind can conceive, you can achieve.
Yeah, you can achieve. And I'll tell you, man, it's so true. It's so true. So I went back and I left the studio that night, and I started getting, you know, in online marketing, and immediately I always spoke. I'm going to go to Tropical Island. Back then, they were my first success, right? Never mind the second time, you know, the failures. I'm going to go to Tropical Island. I love the Caribbean. I'm going to go. Before you know it, I'm in the Caribbean in the middle of a week on a Tuesday, and I'm hanging out with this guy, and I'm helping him with his business, and I'm standing there, and I got family in Puerto Rico, right? So this is the first time I've been to Puerto Rico by myself. So I go there. I'm standing on a Tuesday at the edge of the island in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I'm looking off to the ocean, and I know that I'm like I'm miles away from like home, and the reality really sets in and go, wow, I'm really standing here right now in the middle of a week while everybody is working. You get what I'm saying? And my life and my stories are like a novel. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But if I can give you guys anything, it's like when the cards are down, when you're just starting to put the stuff together and you're like questioning yourself, don't do it. Just believe it. Just really, you know, believe it. And if your belief is that strong, like the way my belief is, then you're going to do things consistently. You're not going to question it. You're going to make it happen, even when nothing happens. Like there's times we don't make sales, right? There's times we don't get results. But what do? We keep doing the same thing over and over. We keep showing up, right? Because that belief is there so much. And then what words we speak on our lives are so powerful because we believe, right? Yeah. That everything around us is becoming our reality of what we want to achieve.
And like he was telling me, like, Ace, you know, I don't want you to think like every day you're doing the business, you want to hit like 5 or 10 sales a day. I want you to just focus on 2. We got to hit quota every day, consistently 2. And that's exactly what I've been waking up on purpose and saying is, I'm going to hit 2 today. I'm going to hit 2 today. We woke up this morning, we hit 2. And then I'm like looking yesterday's report and I'm like, damn, we hit 5. So it's like when you just focus on just one small number, but you can go above and beyond, that's even better. But you have to say it out loud, like literally out loud when you wake up upon the moment of the 5-second rule. When you get up, today, I'm going to hit quota. I'm going to get 2 sales in sand, you know? And that's the way you got to think of it, like that.
And we made a sale with sand, and it doesn't always happen, but we don't let that become our reality.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We don't let that result become our reality. What becomes our reality of what we create within ourselves,
yeah,
and what we think about what's possible,
yeah,
right? Always what is possible, not what's impossible, but what is possible.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, we don't always make sales. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And, you know, the old me was like, oh, crap. Oh, man, I'm going to make a sale today. This sucks. Or, you know, this is not working. Or, you know, all these excuses, all these things that hamper yourself from growing as a person.
Draw out the wrong reaction.
Yeah. So
the wrong energy reaction.
Yeah, exactly. And I just feel that I see a lot of people that give up too easily or
devalue themselves.
Do they really believe in what they're doing? 100%. I'm talking like 100%, like every ounce and core of your being. Do you really believe it? Do you believe in this industry? Do you believe in, you know, success can happen for you? Do you believe that you can generate leads? Do you believe you can get better at conversion, you know, converting more sales? Do you believe they can get out there and connect with people and close more sales? Do you believe in active marketing? Do you believe in passive marketing? Do you believe in all these things that are possible for you to grow your business? That is the key, you know? And so any words that you speak, okay, even if you don't open your mouth, it's here, okay? Which the ones that are most powerful are the ones that don't come out of here. The ones that come through here are the most powerful. So you got to be careful what you're saying to yourself and what you're thinking on a daily basis.
And I'm going to give you guys an exercise to do when we finish, what to do, catch yourselves when you're actually in the act. You would be surprised. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So honestly, all I would say, guys, is, you know, just keep doing what you're doing, keep believing, keep applying, keep learning, keep growing. I'm always learning and growing. Like right now, we're buying a new course on Facebook with messenger marketing. The reason why is because we want to keep excelling our skill sets and we want to keep getting better. We never want to feel like we're just stagnant. Like we know what we know and that's it. You know, we did a training on our Facebook fan page about how to create a fan page from scratch because we want to give value and because we learn that stuff, right?
Right.
So now if we keep studying and learning more courses and giving more value, right, we'll attract even more people because we keep growing. But that's my belief. That's my world. That's my existence. That's what, you know, our reality, right? And what we believe in. So understand, guys, that you have the ability, like, to control, like, everything that you're trying to do. Everything, you know, some people just don't even know it yet. Right? I mean, they just don't know it. That's why I think the challenges with the videos that are coming out is really powerful for many different ways. You know, first of all, it's good to start, you know, creating some consistency, you know, with doing some marketing like that. But the other powerful thing is, it's really powerful that you are doing something to get out of your comfort zone to become someone of your future self, right? So for instance, like when you're creating videos, okay, and you're speaking to existence of what you're doing, you won't recognize yourself after a while, okay? After a while, you'll look at your old self and realize, wow, that's me. I've changed. I've become a totally different person, right? That's the power of video as well. That's why I love video. That's why you see us do lives all the time. Everything we speak, everything we put out there is creating our reality of what we want to achieve. Right. So that's why I think that video challenge that Dan started to put together is huge, huge. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted.
Even if you don't do it there are some people that are just doing it for doing it, and you know, they want the prize. There are people who want to do it because they want to see how far they can actually stretch themselves. And you know what? I say do it regardless. Don't expect the prize. Do it anyway. So that way you can start developing, because one of the things that we realize from contests and competitions is the fact that you're not in competition with all the other members. You're in competition with your old self. So what happens is you start stretching yourself above and beyond what you normally would typically do to a non-traditional sense. And now you're developing a new success habit of doing videos every time and keeping that consistency. Then all of a sudden you look at all those videos and you go, wow, look at all this content I just created. And then you go, I don't really need to do much. I can just repurpose this content and use it for later. You know, that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, so like, you know, I hear people say like, oh, I don't want to work anymore, you know, and that's how I used to be. And then I said, I want to work. I want to, you know, do more in my job to make more capital to build my business.
I have something to say about that.
You know, so I was just thinking a whole different way.
Yeah.
I created a whole different reality. And then by the time I go to work, I sometimes didn't even feel like I was at work because my mind was like forming this whole different world that was coming in the future.
And we have a different point of view, a different awareness when it comes to, you know, using your job to fund your dreams. Matter of fact, on Labor Day, you know, we actually got to chill. And at the same time, we didn't look at it like from an employee mindset. And we saw the news feed, and I couldn't believe this joker was coming out of nowhere in the news feed saying "Happy Slave Day" hashtag. I said, what the hell? I said, first of all, you know, you're going to put that sense out there and give people the wrong perception of that having a job is a bad thing. But if it wasn't for the job, how are you supposed to create the capital to keep your ass in the business? You know? So just don't hang around with people like that. Like if they got a bad mindset, I'm telling you, just don't listen to that stuff. That's nonsense. That's ignorance right there. Yeah. So you definitely want to use your job to fund your dream. That's how you create the capital to keep yourself in business until one day you make enough where you take your annual salary like I did and you turn it into your monthly, and then you can walk away from your job. That's how you do it.
Yeah. And you know, once you're like having capital into your business and you're growing your business, then what you want to do is you want to have that time to study and learn and learn some different skill sets. That way when you're on your lives, you could give back to the community. Yes. You can give back to the industry, and you got to be go-givers. I think who said that? Bob Proctor said, you know, you have a lot of people that saying, you know, you got to be a go-getter. You don't have to be a go-getter. What you got to do is be a go-giver. So the more that you go out there and you give, the more you're going to attract. And we see it. He's right, spot on. We have so many people that we're meeting on a daily basis. And oh man, we have a story of people that we met, a daughter and a mother. A mother that's been watching us for a while, and then the daughter wanted to work with us, and we just met them yesterday, and they signed up to the Super Affiliate Network. And you know, it's just you don't know who's watching you guys. So
you don't know.
It could be for a while, you know. But understand, guys, these are things that we really need to understand, that your reality is everything. Okay.
Yes.
So you just have to look at what you want to create out of your own reality. Okay. So whatever you speak, especially here, more importantly, you know what I mean? Just be careful and be aware of what you're telling yourself, because that will be a failure. That would be a detriment to your success. And I've heard this a long time ago, and now I'm really, really getting it. Now I'm really understanding it. So as I pour it to you, I really want you guys to get this. And this is the truth. This is accurate. Okay. So I want you guys to really get this, because we care about you guys. We want you to have success and stuff. So
the exercise that we want to leave with you guys before we go is how do you catch yourself? Let's see if you're actually living your life with a victim mentality. So what you do is, if you guys have a cell phone or a tape recorder, I want you guys to walk around with that tape recorder, and only when you say a negative thought out loud, no matter what it is, where you're at in that situation, starting when you wake up to when you go to sleep, watch how many times you negatively talk about yourself and listen to the playback, and be aware and catch yourself that there's a third presence watching you talking bad about yourself. So that's what I did with Nirka. There's a woman named Nirka, and she's an amazing spiritualist. She has a book out there called The Supreme Influence, and the art of speaking in your power and your purpose with passion in your language. And I read in one chapter, she said, I want you to walk around with this tape recorder, and I want you to talk throughout the day and watch how many times you talk negatively about yourself. And that's what you're speaking into existence. So watch what happens to some of you Super Affiliate Network members who are actually walking around with that recorder. How many times you say, oh man, you know what? This ain't for me. Oh my God, I cannot believe what's wrong with me. You know, I guess I'm broken, or you know what? I'm not smart enough, or I'm too old, right? Yeah. You know, right?
You're not broken.
No,
you just have to unlearn some things to relearn some new things.
Yes.
That's all it is. I'm telling you right now. Unlearn the old things and relearn the new things. Okay. Yes. And understand how long it takes you to get to this point.
Right.
Right. It's not your fault.
I don't know who said this, if you remember when I say this phrase, but there is a quote out there that says the illiterates are not the people. I think it was Les Brown who said it, right? Yeah. The illiterates are not the people who can't read. The new illiterates are the people who can't unlearn their old thinking.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, you got to unlearn all this old programming you've been taught since you were a kid.
Yeah.
You know, by the very people who failed, who didn't have any success. Okay. And they couldn't teach you the principles of living your life with self-sufficiency, with direction. You had to figure that out on your own through your failures. So you got to understand that all of this stuff, becoming an entrepreneur, it's not about companies. It's about transforming yourself into a better you.
And that's how the success follows, is when you get disciplined, you get focused, and you get really real with yourself. That's when things start to change.
So with that being said, I'm Anastasia Alders, better known as Coach Ace.
And I'm Rich Guzman, known as Rich Guzman. And we'll see you on a new live very soon. Bye, guys.